Hey guys. So as I mentioned last week, I was on vacation. It was with my husband and his family, and it was a really great time. I love spending time with them, especially up in Colorado where we were. They've been before, so they were kind of showing me around the area that we were in because I've never seen it. I've been to Colorado before. It's a few times, multiple times. I used to every year for camp, but it's been a while, and this was a different part. So there was definitely a lot that I didn't know about, and there was a lot that I didn't get to see because a lot of the trails and stuff in the mountain area that we were at were closed due to avalanches and snowfalls from the last winter. It was a really rough, really cold, snowy, obviously, winter up there. But basically, I thought that we could kind of go through what we did and where we were. Um, but let's go into it. So, to start out with, it's the longest drive. Um, Obviously, driving anywhere in America is like forever. We're like, oh, it's not even that far, but it's like 3 hours away. So, we left Sunday morning, and we made a bunch of stops, obviously, because it was like a 9 hour drive the first day, and that was just to get to a little town just across the border of New Mexico. And we stopped, to see family and to eat, obviously, because I'm not going to sit in a car for 9 hours without food. But it was a small little town, and there wasn't a lot that we did. It was a Sunday night. We were tired. We'd been driving all day, so we just kind of chilled at the hotel. Monday, we drove up the rest of the way through New Mexico. Saw some beautiful sights. It's really beautiful, especially as you get up into like northern New Mexico. The mountains kind of start, and it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Um, Again, stayed in a slightly bigger town in another hotel. We got there late. We drove for 8 hours, I think, the second day. Again, stopping for food and whatnot. Um, Basically, just chilled at the hotel again. Um, Tuesday is the fun day. It's when we finally got up to Ouray, which is where we were staying all week, and we checked into our cabin, which was right next to a little river. You could sit out on the patio and like watch the water go rushing by, and it was so beautiful. We just kind of chilled. We had just gotten there. It took us 4 hours that third day to get there, and we just kind of chilled. We went to dinner with his family, and we had, just a really great time. And on the way there, during the 3 or 4 hours that we were driving, we stopped in Durango, which, if you're ever in the area, is a really, really beautiful area. Um, we went across the $1 million highway, which is terrifying, which I'm really glad that I wasn't driving because I'm not a good enough driver to do that. It was a beautiful sight, and if you're not like too scared to like look over the side of the road to your death, it's definitely beautiful and definitely scary, but loved it. If I was driving, I would have cried, but I wasn't, so it was fine. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I get everything the right day. We did a lot, but it was so worth it. It's all so beautiful. So we stopped in Durango. We walked around downtown. We walked around just kind of everywhere, just seeing everything. I haven't been in this part of Colorado before, so it was definitely a treat. Wednesday was our first full day there in Ouray, and we drove up. We went to breakfast, obviously, 3 full meals a day, whatever, being healthy for once in my life. We went up to Telluride, which, if you haven't been there, is they've got like the Black Bear Pass, I guess is what it's called. There's a bunch of waterfalls and stuff, so old mines. It's really, really pretty. I didn't get a picture, unfortunately, of one of the waterfalls, but I did get one that his family said they hadn't really gotten to see before, but because of how much snowfall and stuff there is and how much snow melt, there were more falls than normal, which I did get a picture of that. Along the way, while we were on our way there, we went down the Last Dollar, which is really a treat. It's kind of a back road. We weren't really sure if my car was gonna make it because I drive a smaller car and it's what we took because it's better on gas mileage. But We were driving, my car is a mess now because of roads like these, but it's so worth it. We saw like some elk, we saw um like a wolf or something, coyote. I don't remember. I didn't get a picture of it, but just like sprinted across the road. It was amazing. The elk that we saw, um, I wish I'd been able to like video it because one of them was on the left side of the road, and three of them ran across the road. And so the three on this side of the road kept like yelling for this one to come across. Which if you ever heard like the elk, everything, they sound hilarious. Honestly, I was cracking up. They were yelling for this one to come across the road, and he was just looking like, nope. And so they would like move a little ways along, and then stop, and then turn back and yell, and then this one would be like, no, and turn around and just walk away. And we sat there for a good few minutes just watching them, like these three over here like yelling, and then this one over here just like looking at them and turning around and leaving. It was the highlight of the drive because even though it's so beautiful and all of the scenery is amazing, that was hilarious. And I loved it. Um, so we went to Telluride. We didn't really walk around much. It's kind of a small, like touristy town, but we did go and see the falls. We couldn't go up, obviously, because a lot of the trails were closed, and I was in a small car. I was not about to make it, um, but it was beautiful to see, and hopefully, I'll get to go again sometime and be able to go up in those trails and be able to kind of look around a bit more. Then we went home. I say home. We went back to our cabin. It's about like an hour away or something. But we went back and there's like a trail around the river and it's about 2 miles or so. And we just kind of walked around that. It's beautiful sights. You can see like there's the way that it is. We were down like in like a valley and there's just like a mountain peak. And so you see like the river going through and then just a mountain like along the river. It's so beautiful. I got some really great pictures from that. And then we just kind of chilled. Basically, what we did every day is we would wake up at like 7:30 and we would stay up for a bit. We would eat breakfast. We would go and do everything for the day and go sightseeing and drive around and look at everything. And then we would just go home and take a nap and then just chill at the cabin, which was amazing because what else are vacations for except not doing things? So we went and saw all the beautiful sights and I loved it. And I wish I could have seen more, and I would have if the trails hadn't been closed, but it was a good time of rest. I really needed it. Thursday, we went to Box Canyon, which was really close, like it's in Ouray, and it basically you walk like down. There's a lot of chipmunks around, which you're not like allowed to feed them and stuff. It's understandable, but we named a bunch of them. We figured out, the chipmunks, Alvin and the chipmunks, obviously. We figured out which one was which, and there were 20 extras, but it's fine. We picked three of them that we liked the best and named them. The fattest one, obviously, was Theodore. It was adorable. I loved it. And then we went down. You go like down a path and go like around, and it kind of leads down a little bit, and there's a waterfall through the rocks, and then it leads out like to the river that goes by our camp. And it's so pretty and so loud and so wet because it's bouncing off all these rocks like towards you. And so we got a few pictures from that. Um, and I was so cold. I get cold so easily because I'm so small and I'm pretty sure I'm like iron deficient and whatever. But that's a whole different story. We were walking down and I was like, oh yeah, it feels great. Like I'm wearing short sleeves and whatever and walking around and looking at everything and thinking, oh, it's so beautiful. And we start to go down the stairs and the water hits and I was like, nope, I'm gonna keep going down because I want to see it and I want to get closer, but like, it's so cold. I cannot. We went, that was also the day, we went, to Yankee Boy, which is like one of the trails and stuff. We went up to Twin Falls, which, if you know, like the Coors Light cans, it's the picture that's on there. And it's so pretty. I've got like so many pictures from there. We kind of like went up and to the top of the falls, like where it originally branches off. I went up there while my husband and his brothers were having a snowball fight because it was up a lot higher, so there was still snow up there. Which, if you're like me and from Texas, that's like an unusual thing because we only see snow once every 5 years, and even then, it's like wet. Like obviously, it's wet. It's snow. It's like icy snow and not like powdery snow. And this was like thick and clumped together, obviously, because it's July, and it's just left over from the slides. Um, so there were a lot of like trees and stuff in it too, and it was really dirty, but it's snow. I was excited. They were throwing it at each other. I was trying to avoid it. I was the innocent one in the situation. I went up to the top of the falls to take some pictures and see how pretty it was, and came back down and tried to avoid some more, and still got hit with snowballs because you can't avoid it. It was cold, but I was hiking around, so I was warm enough. It was fine. We, like I said, I drive a really small car, and so we thought, well, we're gonna drive some of the way up there. We're following his parents in their truck with 4-wheel drive, which is important when you're going up a mountain. It's good to have 4-wheel drive. And we drove behind them, and we made it like halfway up, and then we got like maybe a little over halfway up. I don't really know. But we got up there and we were like, I don't really know how much farther this car can go. It's kind of, I mean, she was doing great. I'm real proud of my car for how much she did this week. Like, oh my gosh, we were struggling, but we made it. She was doing her best. And we got up and then we like stopped behind them and we were like, yeah, we're gonna park here. Because like on the mountain roads and stuff, there's always like a space where it like branches out and you can stop and like park your car and take pictures and stuff. So there was one of those little spots, and we just like pulled my car in there and parked, and got in with them because obviously my car is not going to the top of this mountain. And we got up and we drove with them and we went, and that's where we saw the falls, and they had their snowball fight, and whatever. I was not about to have a snowball fight and stick my hands in that because it's cold. I'm a cold person, not trying to make myself frozen. So. Yeah, then we went, they have, hot springs, like, all over Colorado, like, I saw so many of them just as we were driving along, and so we were like, oh, well, we're gonna go to the pool, and for Thursday afternoon, we're gonna go to the pool. We've already done a lot. It's our second to last day there. We don't really have anything planned for the next day. We can just kind of chill. So that night we go, not like night, it was like mid-afternoon. We go to the pool, and as I start to step in, I'm like, this is gonna be so cold. Because my experience with swimming pools has been step in, freeze your feet off, and then just dive. Because if you don't just dive, you're gonna hate yourself because the water is so freezing. You just have to like shock your body to get used to it. But these, I stepped in expecting it to be really cold, and obviously it's a hot spring, and I'm just not like thinking straight. So I stepped in, and it was pleasantly warm, and we just chilled in there, and you like work your way up in levels of heat until you get to like the outlook, which overlooks like the mountain that I was talking about with the river. And it's super hot, and at first I sat down and I was like, yes, this is the life, feeling it, feeling nice, like it's super warm. And I sat there for 5 to 10 minutes, and by that point Josh and his dad had both like gotten out, and I was like, no, I'm fine. This feels great. And then 2 seconds later, I thought that, and then 2 seconds later, I was like, I'm sweating. I need to get out of here. I'm going to die. So I got kind of out, and I was like sitting with just my feet in it. And I was reading their sign, and it was like, not recommended if you like have diabetes, or if you're pregnant, or if you're dehydrated. Which, fun fact about me, as much as I want to be a healthy person and drink water all the time and eat all my fruits and veggies and be the healthiest person in the world, I'm not. At all. I'm dehydrated probably 90% of the time. I keep my bottle of water here, but let's be real. I'm almost always dehydrated. So I read that and I was like, that's why I feel like dying. Because I'm dehydrated and not supposed to be in this pool. Oh well. So we sit there for a little bit longer, chilling and talking, and we just kind of like work our way back down through the levels of heat So we were like in the hottest one, and we went back down to the next lowest one, and then to the coolest hot spring. I wasn't about to go jump in any of like the cold ones where people were like swimming laps and stuff because I was in the warm ones and I was comfortable. But yeah, so we did that. We went to dinner, had some drinks, and living life, whatever. It was a good night. It was kind of chill. Basically, this whole week we just were like chilling and saw some great sights. Took a lot of pictures, more pictures than I've taken of probably anything else in my life, but it was beautiful and worth it. And then we come to Friday. It was our last day there, and I was so sad to be leaving, but so excited to be back home because vacations are great, but only for a little while. I could have stayed another week. Let's be real. If I had been able to take 2 weeks off of work, I would have, 100%, and I would have stayed there. If I could stay there forever, I would. Uh, but basically, Friday we were like, okay, we're just gonna chill. Like, we don't have anything else that we really want to go and see. Surely there's something else around here, but we're just going to not. We ended up going to Montrose, which is quite a bit of a drive, but it's not the farthest. It's like half an hour or something. It's like 20 or 30 miles. I don't know. It feels longer than it is. Everything feels longer than it is when you've been driving for a whole weekend. So we basically just went and ate at Qdoba. Um, we went and ate burritos and tacos and whatever everyone else got. I got a gigantic burrito and ate all of it and made my brother-in-law proud. Because I ate all my food. Because I'm a hungry bitch. So when we went to Qdoba, we did miss the turn. We didn't almost miss the turn. We missed the turn completely because the GPS, like, as we were getting there, the turn is here, and we were like here, and it said turn left. And we were like, welp, nope. And so we had to turn around at a gas station, not at a gas station, a car wash. And so as we pulled into the car wash, the attendant was standing there, and they didn't have any business, and I felt really bad because this guy probably looked at my car and was like, oh, these people are in dire need. And then we just like turned around in his parking lot, and he just looked really disappointed. So Mr. Car Wash guy, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry, and if I'm ever back in the area, I will definitely take my car to you, because let's be real, I don't wash my car enough and it needs it. But yeah, my car is filthy, and I've been driving on dirt roads all week, and I need to get it washed. So Saturday, we started the drive home. The rest of Friday we just kind of chilled. We did that for lunch, and we came back to the cabin, and we packed up, and we chilled and talked to his family, and went to dinner, and talked to his family some more, and played cornhole. And I suck at that game because I haven't played it in 3 years, and I lost every round, but it's okay because I tried. That's what's important in life, guys. Try your best. Even if you don't succeed, at least have fun. It's my important message of the video. So, anyway, that was Friday night. And then Saturday, we just packed up, finished packing up, we ate breakfast, and we left real early. And then we drove through a different part of Colorado because we were like, well, we want to see something different. So we drove like up and around instead of like coming up from below. So we like drove around to a part that I'd kind of been through before because whenever we go up to camp, we go up barely through New Mexico into Colorado. And this time we went mostly through New Mexico and a little bit of Colorado. And so when we were on our way back, I was like, oh my gosh, I know where I am. I've seen this before. Yay. But yeah, it was a really long drive. I think that day it was like 9 hours or something. Again, stopping for food because I'm not going to sit in a car for that long without food. Always important to remember. Yeah, the longest drive ever. I had to drive a little bit of that because it's 9 hours. We were tired, but we made it all in one piece to our hotel. And then Sunday, we finished the drive home, and that was just through, the rest of Texas because it's the biggest thing in the world, and it's impossible to drive through in one day. So yeah, but we made it home mid-afternoonish, and we're kind of chilling. It's been a time. We got home, so the entire week that we were there, it was probably like 80 or 90, but it felt like 70 or 80, and it was really great. And then I got home and went to check my mail, and I stepped outside and was sweating because it was 100 degrees, and humid. And I stepped outside and started sweating, and I looked at my phone. It had a heat advisory because it felt like 110 degrees. And I hope to get to a point in my life where I don't have to come back until it's cooled off. Because I hate humidity and I hate sweating. And I think my hair looked great all last week. I think that's been my problem. My hair is so frizzy because it's just so humid here and I can't live with it. Back to reality now. I went to my first day of work again today, which was nice. It's nice to be back to doing something productive and something that I'm used to and, making a living again. But I miss vacation. I may have to take another one soon. Give me like a month and then I'll be ready again. For sure. For vacation. I don't want to have to do all that laundry again though. But anyway, if you guys have fun vacations to tell me about, because I'm sure that you do, let me know. I'd love to talk about it. Sure to have a ton of pictures. Gonna try to put some of them in this video. I downloaded editing software that hopefully will be easier to use than the last one that I never figured out. So try to put some pictures here. Links to all my social media in the description. So if you wanted to talk to me, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever, let's talk. Bye.